You're watching The Top 5. The FBI has instructed U.S. police departments to consider anyone who doubts 9/11 to be a potential terrorist. According to the FBI's recent circular, those who hold the attitude described as conspiracy theories about Westerners should be considered suspicious of possible involvement in terrorist activity. As an example, the circular refers to those who say the CIA arranged for the 9/11 attacks to legitimize the invasion of foreign lands. This puts roughly half of the United States population in the category, as a recent national poll showed that 48% of Americans have doubts about the official account of 9/11. Many say staging a fake terrorist attack is not a new concept for the U.S. government. A document declassified by the Pentagon in 1998 shows the Joint Chiefs of Staff had approved a plan in 1962 to attack and kill American citizens to provide justifications for U.S. military intervention in Cuba. The plan was later rejected by President John F. Kennedy. Jim Brand with the Stop the War Coalition is with us now on the line from London. Let's hear what he has to say about this. Mr. Brand, first of all, how are you? What's your initial reaction to this? Were you expecting this kind, of a decision to be made? Anyone who, quote, advocates conspiracy theories is considered a potential terrorist threat?
I'm not that surprised. But what does shock me a bit more is that this news report you're referring to comes at the same time as the publication by the American Civil Liberties Union of a report titled Unleashed and Unaccountable concerning the expansion of the role and the powers of the FBI in the last 12 years since 9/11. And they make the point that the role and expansion of the FBI makes it far more of a powerful force inside the United States than even it was in the 60s and 70s, which led to a crisis and its role was cut back. And I think those two reports stand side by side. I don't think that it's such a surprise that the FBI decide that people who think outside of the official version are targets, because they are targeting all kinds of people, I'm afraid.
But, I mean, how can these people who are saying, for instance, that 9/11 was an inside job or whatever, how can these people possibly be threatening the national security of the United States or be considered as potential terrorist threats? How do you think this is being justified by the authorities?
Well, they certainly can't be national security threats in the way that any ordinary person would understand it. But the way that the authorities use this phrase, national security, it encompasses so many other things that we have to really look at their peculiar use of words. If you think about it, it is now 12 years since 9/11, and it is 10 years and 11 years since they arrested the people that they accuse of being what they call the mastermind and the chief facilitator of the 9/11 plot. And there is a fundamental principle in legal proceedings that justice must not only be done, it must be seen to be done, and also the principle that justice delayed is justice denied. And we are now talking about 11 years later, and there is no prospect that these people will be put on trial. So there's a whole climate of denying fundamental principles. And I think that's how we have to see the report that you're referring to.
Mr. Jim Brand with the Stop the War Coalition with us there on the line from London. Thank you very much.